So just to like, in your experience and kind of speaking to that, like there's a side of the automotive industry that like, I think now the stats are we're losing 5 technicians
5 to 1.
5 to 1. So 5 technicians, they're leaving the industry or retiring or getting promoted out of the shop. But even the younger kids coming in, the industry's doing such a bad job of retaining them that there's over a 50% attrition that like the first 2 years they leave even after they've gone to a vocational school and learned how to be a tech. And so we have tried to recruit military, and the thing that happens is they're in such high demand that you really can't even get a call back. And a lot of them opt to go into aviation. They opt to go into there's other industries that are just better at recruiting the soldiers that have a kinesthetic aptitude and they want to be, techs, or they want to work with their hands. We lose them more to other industries, especially aviation. How would you approach that, or what is the I don't know if there's a magic pill, but what is the steps that need to happen in order to tap that market where we would pay for their school, we would provide them with a really good job and income and security, but they don't seem to be available, I guess, in a sense.
Yeah. And it's, I don't know if you buy a new car, right, Chris? Let's say you buy a new, I don't know, Ford Mustang, right? You get it tricked out like I did, and you get whatever you get, okay? And you got it. You never know that you need to go drive it for the first time out on the highway. You know how many of those cars you're going to see? Like a bunch of them, because it's like, you're like, I didn't even know there's so many cars. I thought no one had a car like this, and everybody's got a car like that. We have it's essentially, we have unconscious bias. Everybody has it. I have it. You have it. Everybody has it. We don't talk about it a lot as it pertains to our U.S. military, but there's a lot of unconscious bias out there that's limiting them from being able to hire. And I'm going to give you a solution to your problem. And it isn't as hard as you think. And I think I know what it means for somebody to be in the military because they were in the military. You don't know what it was like. You don't know what it was like, again, from the person that was in an admin role who never saw combat, who, traveled around and was at 3 different duty stations and got out. They still sacrificed for all the reasons that I just mentioned. They gave up their rights. They gave up their freedom. They would have gone to war if the country had asked them to, and they wouldn't have had a choice because they turned that over, right? That's what we mean when we say thanks for your service. Thanks for the sacrifice you gave up, your period of time that you took away from all the rights that you actually defend, and that you're going to go back. And, I was a combat journalist, and one of my favorite photos of all time is of a National Guardsman, and they're surrounding a guy who's burning the American flag during the Vietnam War. And I say the difference between our country and a non-free country is the direction those weapons are pointed. Because those weapons were pointed towards the crowd to protect his right to desecrate the thing that they were defending. In a communist country, those have been pointed towards that person who's burning the flag. So when you're saying thanks for your service, that's it. But when we look at it, again, I said they don't know how to look at military resumes. I don't mean that they don't know how to learn. They can't learn to read and write and look and see what's on the resume and find mechanic and people with kinesthetic ability. But they're not thinking about that every person that comes out of the military went through boot camp. Every one of them, especially Marines, had first aid training, combat training, leadership training. They have learned how to use the M249 Golf, the M16A2 service rifle. They've learned how to be good with their hands, to tie knots, to rappel. Just because they don't have mechanic on their resume doesn't mean they can't learn it. And a lot of those people that are coming off active duty, 75% of them don't have jobs that align to the civilian world. So you got an infantry guy who's coming off active duty after 4 years. He's not thinking about a career in mechanics any more than I was, a career in sales when I didn't know. My lens before I went in the military was I was a foster care kid who worked his way through 3 years of college, who was a bartender and a waiter. I didn't know anything about corporate America. And if I'd had somebody that got a hold of me with a tool set and taught me trade, I could have learned. I love working with my hands. I love building things. But again, no one looked at me and thought, oh, Marine combat journalist, I'm going to, that's the guy I'm going to put in my mechanic shop. Because they don't know. They don't think outside the box. And you know how we are this day and age. Everything's AI. AI is going to take over the world. I'm telling you, if you're using AI to scan your resumes and you're looking for words, you're passing over a tremendous resource in our U.S. military. And what I would say is take those keyword searches and look for only 6 words. Army, Navy, Marine Corps, Coast Guard, Air Force, and Space Force. If they pop up on the resume, they immediately get pulled over to a hiring manager so they can look at that resume and see. Because otherwise, they don't even make it through the application process because they go into some daggone computer system somewhere. So again, it's not as complicated as people make it, but you have to give the human thing to say, what is this person's story? Who is this individual? And even though they don't have it right now, I bet they have the aptitude to learn it.
Thanks so much for watching this clip of Service Driver Revolution. We're uploading new stuff every day, so make sure you subscribe and click the bell icon so you don't miss out. If you have a question you'd like us to answer on the show, call 8333-ASK-SDR and we'll answer your question on the show. That's 8333-ASK-SDR. For special deals on our books and training, head over to offers.chriscollinsinc.com. Now that's offers.chriscollinsinc.com. I'm Chris Collins, and I'll see you in the next video.